Let's see how the women's race shakes out. 6 kilometers coming up from Urbana. Welcome back to the 2011 Big Ten Cross Country Championships. Along with 4-time Big Ten Cross Country champion Craig Virgin, I'm Jay Wilson. Well, Craig, we talked a little bit about the women's race at the top. We expect Michigan State and Michigan to be right there in the team competition. How about some other candidates?
Well, the women's field is much deeper. We've got 5 teams that could contend. You have to add in Minnesota, Penn State, and Iowa. Iowa's kind of a dark horse. They could surprise some people today.
And some great individuals to keep an eye on. We'll start with Stephanie Price from Minnesota, who was second last year overall.
Yeah, she's a senior. When you've got a senior coming back that was second, close race, you got to say she's the contender. She's the one that should win.
And in that race last year at Wisconsin, Danielle Toro from Michigan was also right there at the end.
She's another senior. She was 4th. Again, her efforts could help Michigan steal the thunder from Michigan State.
And an eye on Audrey Hoot of Northwestern. An interesting story.
Well, Audrey is the first NCAA qualifier for Northwestern in like 10 years. She was at the NCAA championships last year. She's out to make a difference this year. She's a junior, but she'll be somewhere in that top 5.
Counting down toward the start of the women's race, there's Carly Green of Michigan State, first team All Big Ten last year. The Iowa Hawkeyes going through their final paces. And Craig, we saw an 8K run for the men. We're going to see 6K for the women.
It's basically the first 2 laps of the men's race, Jay. And on the second lap, they'll do that extra extension of those extra fingers where they go out in the south end of the course, a little bit extra distance there, right about there. They loop around an orchard, and they come back in. And at the bottom of that hill, they'll make another little finger and then head to around the start line with a good 400 or 500 meters to the finish.
It's gotten a little cooler, a little windier.
And that makes a difference. Besides the hill, of course, the wind is now gusting up over 20 miles an hour, and it will feel like you're running uphill. Look at the hair. That'll tell you right there that you've got a headwind.
And they're off. 9 runners per team. Boy, you always get worried about the traffic as they start to blend in.
Well, it was a clean start, but again, it funnels down really quickly within 200 or 300 meters, and you're all going for the same 10-meter yards.
Oh! 2 runners are down. It's Katie Moraszewski from Minnesota and Sarah Plambeck from Nebraska. They're both back on their feet.
The most important thing, don't lose energy, get up, don't get emotionally distraught, get back into your rhythm. This was soon enough in the race where that won't make a difference in the team finish.
So we continue on in the opening stages of the 6-kilometer run for women.
And right here is why they won't be able to host regionals or nationals on this course. It's just simply too small in the first kilometer of the race to host a big, big, big field like that.
Penn State's Caitlin Lane takes the point, leading the pack.
Well, she's running very aggressively. You know, there really is, again, as we said, you can't win the race here. You can certainly lose it if you go out and burn up too much energy with, how should I say, an imprudent first 2 kilometers.
There you see Hoot from Northwestern just off the right shoulder of Caitlin Lane. A couple of Michigan runners, Taro and Addison, also there. Go back down to our on-course reporter, Kathy Morris.
Looks like a slow start to this one. No one wanting to face the wind in the women's race early on.
Boy, and Craig, you can really see those Minnesota flags starched. The wind is really picking up.
You know, you want to be at this point in time, you want to be back, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Let the other runners in front kind of block that headwind. The only danger is what we just saw. When it gets too packed up, you can tangle legs and feet very easily. And when you've got this thick of a pack for the first kilometer or 2 kilometers due to the headwind, you've got, again, an increased danger of trip and fall. And you just got to be careful until things kind of space out that you don't get tangled up with another runner. There's 1,000 meters.
Already 1,000 through, and there you see 3 Wisconsin runners, and leading the Badger charge right now is Gabrielle Anzalone. She is a freshman from Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Well, the Wisconsin Badgers are making their presence felt. They're going to challenge Michigan and Michigan State.
Of course, Michigan State looking for a 2nd consecutive title. What does Coach Walt Drent think about that?
We're not really thinking about trying to win an individual championship, but we didn't last year. We're looking for low sticks. I mean, I think everybody's objective is the same. It's just to see how low we can go with every stick. And again, this is about the team, so I don't think we're going to send anyone out. I think that Stephanie Price is probably the clear leader right now, just in terms of individual person. And really, our strength is going to be how we run as a team.
Well, I think that he's referring to sticks by the finish line, the tongue depressors we used to pick up at the end of the finish chute that indicated our place on there.
Well, you're old school, aren't you?
Yes, we are, but so is Walt.
Well, Coach Drenth's Michigan State runners, there you see them running pretty much together, not all that far behind our leaders, Caitlin Lane of Penn State and Gabrielle Anzalone from Wisconsin.
Well, I look back at some of the top finishers in the 10,000 last year in the spring, and that should help predict some of our finishes today. And Stephanie Price from Minnesota was 5th in the 10,000. Caitlin Comfort from Wisconsin was 14th. So we really don't have a threat from the 10,000 last spring that's coming out to make itself, really a presence on the front line.
Minnesota's Stephanie Price now moving into third position ahead of Danielle Toro. As Caitlin Lane from Penn State still continues to lead the way in our 6-kilometer run for women in the Big Ten Championships.
Interestingly, she's not afraid to set the pace early and break the wind compared to some of the men's individual runners.
Caitlin Lane, one of the most decorated athletes in New York high school history. She won the New York State Class C cross-country titles in 2006 and 2007, trying to improve her position from last year.
She ran a 3:01 for that kilometer, and that's a good pace, but not a great pace. I think the headwind is making itself felt today in terms of slowing down the front of the pack, but we're seeing it break up a little bit now. We're well past the mile mark, and things are starting to thin down with our top 10.
Now Caitlin Comfort from Wisconsin representing the Badgers. Getting just a shoulder ahead of Danielle Toro. There you see Comfort, number 375 on the right side of the course. Boy, the runners, especially at the front, still very bunched.
And Comfort was 14th in the outdoor 10,000 meters last May.
We've passed the 2-kilometer mark, and the Wisconsin Badgers leading the team competition, but still plenty of competition there.
Michigan State and Michigan, really, the tail of the tape will be later on. But in this individual race, we've got 3 runners from the mile finish indoors, Addison, Toro, and Lane, that are all up here at the front of the 6-kilometer cross-country event.
So right now, individually, Caitlin Lane of Penn State, she's led for most of the way. She still has the lead at this point. Danielle Toro of Michigan, Stephanie Price, Minnesota, Caitlin Comfort of Wisconsin. Those are your leaders as we continue nearing the halfway mark of the women's competition in the Big Ten Cross-Country Championships from Urbana. Back to the women's competition. There you see the front runners, Caitlin Lane, Penn State, Caitlin Comfort, Wisconsin.
And Danielle Toro is starting to lose contact with the leaders. This could rapidly be becoming a 2-woman race in the last 2 kilometers.
Caitlin Lane of Penn State is from Greenwich, New York, and Caitlin Comfort of Wisconsin is from Peoria, Illinois. So I bet she has a lot of hometown fans cheering her on today.
About an hour and 15 minutes away, and it's the home site for the Illinois State Cross Country Championships for high school. Boy, these 2 Caitlins are pushing shoulder to shoulder, and again, Toro falling off the back. About a mile to go, and this is going to be where the winner is determined. We're approaching that big hill. They make a left-hand turn and go straight up that big hill climb.
So as Comfort and Lane lead the way and Toro falls off the pace a bit, let's go back down onto the course. And our reporter, Kathy Morris.
The Caitlins are battling it out for the lead. Caitlin Lane of Penn State, the senior, trying to break away from Caitlin Comfort, the senior from Wisconsin. Comfort, a 3-time All-Big Ten honoree in her career.
Comfort not only a 3-time All-Big Ten, but also is qualified for the NCAA championships the last 3 years as well. And now Comfort takes the advantage.
Yes, she's pushing right now. She's trying to break Lane. This is her time going up that big hill. She's trying to use the course to her advantage. She sees the physical challenge here. She senses the hesitation of Lane, and she pushes the point right now in an effort to try to make her break away.
Well, in the men's race, we saw another Wisconsin runner, Mohammed Ahmed, make his move on the hill, and here's Comfort doing the same.
She seems to be repeating the strategy. She's using that downhill now as she comes roaring off that hill, and she's going to make a left-hand turn into that little loop.
There you see some of the other runners trying to catch up to Comfort and Lane, but now it's Caitlin Comfort of Wisconsin who has opened up a significant advantage over Caitlin Lane.
And it's also turning out to be a two-school race for that team title, with Michigan and Michigan State going head-to-head. It's going to be a tight team race, and Wisconsin has dropped back to third place. And here's Comfort still trying to maintain a 5-meter lead over Lane. Comfort's driving strong. She's got good form. She doesn't appear to be strained in the face. I think she's got what it takes.
But here comes Caitlin Lane, as Comfort wasn't able to shake her for very long. This one looks like it could go right down to those final meters, and now Lane tries to make a move on the inside of Comfort.
Well, she just came rolling back up. She answered everything that Comfort made, and now Lane is making her move and saying, hey, wait a second. Don't forget about me. It's my turn now. And here she goes to the front. And now she's pressing as we go back toward the loop around the starting line, which sets up the last 400 meters of the race.
Boy, what a turnaround. Lane and Comfort back and forth.
1 kilometer to go. We just passed the 5K mark, and look at Lane here. She's stretching it out, and Toro back in third place.
Stephanie Price in fourth, and Rebecca Addison for Michigan running in fifth right now.
And that's really good for a mile indoor and outdoor champion. Addison, her father, was a very good runner for Tennessee.
And there's the Michigan State crew, still 3 together, a little bit farther back in the pack, but the Spartans right now after 5,000 meters with the team lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, Caitlin Lane threw down the gauntlet, and at this point, Caitlin Comfort has no answer. She's just pulling away to what looks like a decisive victory, although on the hill, it didn't look that decisive. I mean, Comfort clearly had it on the hill. Lane started to fall back. She rallied, made her move at the right time, and maybe that was part of her pre-race strategy. She had a definite designated part of the course in which she was going to push, and she has.
Well, we saw the exchange of the lead between Comfort and Lane, but boy, I'll tell you, it looks like Caitlin Lane has all the strength in the world to finish this one up, and Comfort is really going to have to make a remarkable recovery.
Well, Ahmed used the hill to his advantage, and he rolled on to victory from there. Comfort could not seem to do the same trick. We've got Michigan State, Michigan battling up right here. There's the Michigan runners. The Michigan State pack is right in front. You've got 3 runners there, followed closely by another runner from Michigan. This is going to be a neck-and-neck battle for that team race right down to the bottom.
For Michigan State, Carly Green, Sarah Kroll, Julia Otwell leading the Spartan charge to what they hope will be a second straight women's team championship.
500 meters to go, and Caitlin Lane is pulling away. This now is her race to lose. She's got a nice, good form. Look at those arms, very comfortable, nice tempo. Look at the chin, the neck, no sign of strain and fatigue. She's running well within herself.
Boy, it wasn't that long ago. Comfort was right there, but look at how far back the Wisconsin runner is now.
At this point, it doesn't appear that Lane is making that big of a move. It looks more like Comfort is just hitting the wall and tiring.
Well, Lane looking strong for the individual championship. Now I guess it's a bit of a race against the clock, too. Can she break the 20-minute mark?
300 meters to go, and she's looking very strong. Look at those arms. She's now going to the drive in the final 200 to 300 meters as she senses the finish line drawing close by.
And then you saw some Penn State runners on the men's side cheering their Nittany Lion teammate on. That doesn't hurt down the stretch of the final
No, it doesn't. 150 meters to go, and Lane is just going into her drive, and now we've got Caitlin Comfort back there coming into second place. We're looking at the home stretch as we show the finish coming up.
Well, Comfort has closed it a little bit, but not nearly enough, as Penn State's Caitlin Lane takes the final strides toward the individual championship.
And Comfort comes in a close second, and I believe Toro is going to come in third.
And another Michigan runner is right behind Toro as Rebecca Addison. There's Comfort. She'll finish second, Toro third.
And Addison's finish is remarkable for really someone who really has specialized in the mile, winning the indoor and the outdoor mile championships this past year.
And there's the celebration in the Penn State camp. There's your individual winner, Caitlin Lane. And now the all-important team finishes. There's Stephanie Price of Minnesota, followed by Julia Otwell of Michigan State, and 2 more Spartans come in right there. Looks like they're 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th, I should say. Penn State head coach Beth Alford Sullivan celebrating with Caitlin Lane. Now more Spartans crossing the finish line, and we're looking for our 5th Michigan Wolverine.
Boy, it's awful far back in the pack for the 5th runner for Michigan to be coming in. This doesn't look good for their story, and there's Pellegrini right now, somewhere around 30th place.
Here's Kathy with our winner.
We are here with Caitlin Lane, the 2011 Women's Big Ten Cross Country Champion. How does that feel?
It's amazing. You know, I knew it was a possibility coming into today, but you know, you never really know how you're going to feel or what the day's going to be like. But I'm so happy and I'm so proud of my team.
It was hard to tell from the vehicle we were in, but it seemed like nobody really wanted to take the lead and kind of set the pace. Is that how it felt to you out there?
Yeah, I kind of felt like I was running around in no man's land for most of the race. But, you know, a bunch of girls came up and challenged me, and I'm glad they were there. They made it an exciting race for me to be running in. So it was a really great race.
Well, the women's team champions still too close to call. They'll tabulate the results. We'll have those for you. A look at the women's individual results. Congratulations to the 1st and 2nd team, all Big Ten performers in 2011. Now let's hand out the awards for the women's competition.
In 3rd place from the University of Michigan, a time of 2014, Danielle Toro. In 2nd place from Wisconsin, a time of 2012, Caitlin Comfort. And your 2011 Big Ten champion from Penn State University, timing 1958. Congratulations to Caitlin Lane.
And let's take a look at the team scores. With Michigan placing 4 girls in the top 12, how did they lose this meet? Easily enough, it's the 5th runner. Michigan State's 5th runner came in 17th. Michigan's came in 31st. That's a 14-point differential, too much to overcome.
Walt Drenth is the Michigan State head coach, and there seemed to be a lot of women's teams that had a shot at this title today. What was the difference with your team ending up on top?
I mean, it was a great meet. There were, as I said yesterday, there were 4 or 5 teams that could win, and I thought there were 4 or 5 teams in it right to the end. I thought we just persevered. I thought, you know, at the tail end, I thought we did a really nice job of running through the field, probably the last 2K, especially Becca and Rachel kind of really pick up some steam. But, you know, it's a great team win.
Last year, Emily McLeod was the individual winner here, but despite her not being here this year, this team still repeated. That says something about the depth and consistency of your program, I think.
Yeah, the kids have done a great job. It was their goal from the start. It was their stated goal. They're their goals, and they lived up to their expectations. It was fantastic. They did a great job. I'm really proud of every one of them.
Congratulations to the Michigan State Spartans, the women's cross-country champions.
2 great races and a great day of competition at the University of Illinois Arboretum. For our entire Big Ten Network production crew, along with Kathy Morris and Craig Virgin, I'm Jay Wilson. Thanks for watching the 2011 Big Ten Cross Country Championships.